personally think that most of us overthink our content. And throughout this series, you will feel a lot more confident to go out and just post the stuff that you think is worthy of posting. What's up, beautiful people? I'm Erin, and this is Erin On Demand, and today we have another case study in the How They Grew series. Now, I'm doing this because I know a lot of you guys want to grow as content creators, as influencers, and you get stuck with, should you niche? There's 1,000 tips rolling around the internet on what to do to grow. And I think the best way to learn is to look and dissect other people's experiences to see how you can grab inspiration and things and techniques that they've used if that's something that you want to use on your platform. So today we are case studying Kristy Sarah, who I personally think is like the queen of short form content. Now, if you're new here, I highly recommend you go see the first episode in this series, which is of Tabitha Brown. We really dissected how, though she has not niched, she has grown a huge audience and has so many businesses and partnerships in so many different areas, from clothing to food, restaurants, hair care, so many, but how it all makes sense. So definitely check that out. Now, as for Kristy, if you are not familiar with her, her name is Kristy Scott. She is a huge influencer on Instagram. She has amassed, let me see how many followers she has. Okay, she has almost 2.5 million followers on Instagram. And she probably has like 6.5 million followers on TikTok and over 1 million YouTube followers. So about Kristy, she is a mom, a wife, and a full-time content creator. And she and her husband Desmond actually have a film company called Meant to Be Films, where he shoots wedding films, and he is really good, you guys. So Kristy had Instagram, and then she started TikTok during the pandemic. And this is one thing that she and Tabitha Brown actually have in common, is that they both blew up on TikTok during the pandemic. So she had a decent sized following on Instagram before she got on TikTok, but in a Q&A that she did on her YouTube channel, she kind of explained that she had a good inkling that TikTok was going to really be like the next big thing. So she hit 1 million on TikTok, and her Instagram didn't immediately pop off until Reels came. So once Reels came, she ended up posting a lot of her TikToks to Reels, and her Instagram started to grow a lot faster as well. Now, what I found was interesting that she said in one of her videos was that in the beginning, she was experimenting a lot, ding, 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 which is something that I tell you guys all the time. You cannot overstep the experimental phase. A lot of times you guys will ask me what works on TikTok versus what works on Instagram. And the true answer is that that's something that you're gonna have to figure out based on your audience. So Kristy said in the beginning she was posting to both platforms all the time, and she started to realize what was working well with Reels and what was working well with TikToks, and that they aren't always the same. So some of her content she repurposes on both platforms, but some of it she does not. And it was very interesting to me because as you learn your audience, you will start to have that instinct to know this is going to do well on Instagram, this will do well on TikTok, or this will do well on both. Okay, so let's get into some things that Kristy does really well with her content that I think has really set her apart as a content creator, and things that you can probably implement into your content as well. So when it comes to general lifestyle content, I hear a lot of people saying that they have multiple interests, that they just want to kind of be general lifestyle influencers because they don't want to pick a niche, and that is totally fine. The reason why I'm doing this series is to show you that there are so many other ways to grow than to simply niche down and feel very limited and confined in your content. But one thing that is for sure when it comes to lifestyle content is that for it to stick, it has to either be aspirational or really relatable. So a lot of times, you know, we see lifestyle influencers who are traveling all the time, wearing lots of designer clothes, looking very luxurious, and it's aspirational to us, and that's a big reason why we follow them. Or we have influencers who are extremely relatable. You just feel like you see yourselves in them, and that causes you to follow them. And so when you can kind of combine those two things, I think you get the best of both worlds. And I feel like Kristy Sarah does a great job at that. I think it definitely is easier to grow. If you have some sort of lens or layer to your content that makes you different from a lot of other general lifestyle influencers. And for Kristy, that is like her extreme goofiness and just her absolute off the wall type of content. She wears masks and like does the craziest pranks and tricks on her husband. She buys like realistic looking cakes and does pranks with those. And so even though she has a lot of pranking content, it's very lighthearted and fun and loving. It's not like really serious, like I'm gonna fake break up with him pranks. It's like just goofy stuff. And I think she really brings her authentic personality of just being this goofy girl into her content, and her husband also plays into it. So he reacts and compliments her content very well to kind of give that end a pop whenever she is including him into her content. So I'm gonna show an example right here of a video she did faking eating raw chicken.
Eating raw chicken for my husband's reaction. Except this is actually cake. It looks so real I'm almost disgusted.
Babe, can you put the boys in the booster seat? I'm about to make them a quick lunch. Like a chicken pasta. I learned it on TikTok. The chicken is so... Have you ever had like raw chicken before? I don't know, I just wanna...
Don't do that, like, you can't play with that.
No, some people actually eat raw chicken.
I know they do, but that's Christy, you're gonna get the salmon. Why are you doing that?
And then at the end, it's his reaction. And her husband really plays it up. Like he has the like really funny reactions, which also incentivizes people to watch to the end. So we can see his reaction and basically get rewarded. But the biggest thing with this is that she does not cram too much into one piece of content. And I think a lot of times we feel like we have to document so much to make a really cool piece of content, that we have to have all these amazing transitions. She doesn't do any of that. Her content is very simple. It's very simply shot, very simply edited. It has very simple storylines, and honestly the simplicity of the content makes it so easy to watch and easy to love. Another thing Kristy does is strings a lot of her content together. So you'll see lots of series on her platforms. So when they were moving into their new house, she had a series of unpacking and getting their home together. She does series when they're on their trips, and every day she does like this is what happened today type of thing. And so she uses storytelling a lot in her content, and this is really important because for one, we feel like we're getting to know her a lot better, but not only that, we feel like we're along these experiences with her. But the most important thing that this does is that it creates characters out of the people in her life. So her husband is kind of like the goofy, crazy, louder one who reacts to everything, who's a great chef and cooks them these gourmet meals. So we've kind of compartmentalized that as who Desmond is. She's the organized, introverted girl who does these like goofy pranks and is kind of like a, I don't know, just like a great mom. And so we also compartmentalize her. And then they have their two boys who also are kind of characterized. One who's like the really nice one, the other one who like always kind of side eyes her. And she captures these moments and kind of creates characters out of their family. So you feel like you know all of them. And she does this a lot through voicing over. So we see a lot of voiceovers on her page. She doesn't use a ton of trending sounds like as her only strategy. She does a lot of voicing over, you know, and then she also does a lot of having the voiceover read by like the automated readers on Instagram and TikTok. So she also does that. But the key is that we feel like we're really getting to know her and that each piece of content kind of builds to this bigger story of the Scott's life, basically. Now, as for niching, I would not consider Christy to have a niche. I would say she really just shares family, fun, travel, a little bit of beauty, home decor, organization, and she actually just released her own planner. And I think that it's always amazing to see influencers taking their influence and turning it into a business. And that is what I am all about, especially with my Creator to CEO course. It is all about turning your creativity and your influence into a full-fledged business, because although growing a following is incredible and it's fun and it's lucrative, it's also so important to have your own stuff. And so she has her own planner that she just released, and it goes with her content. Honestly, she's a very busy woman, I can imagine, but she also has really played up how she loves organization. She always calls herself OCD, and it makes sense. So you don't necessarily have to niche, and that's what I keep telling you guys. It's more about making everything make sense based on who you are and how it all connects in your own life. And last but not least, she repurposes a whole lot. So a lot of times you'll see her content on Instagram and on TikTok and on YouTube Shorts, and she attributes her growth on all of these platforms to short form video. She is like the short form video queen, and she is a testament that consistently posting quality content, you're going to see results. And so she does post probably multiple times a day, but she's posting a lot of those things on multiple platforms, and they're all growing. So if you're someone who struggles with figuring out where to channel a lot of your energy, should you post the same stuff on TikTok and Instagram and YouTube Shorts, my answer to you is yes, at least in the beginning, until you can find the nuances of each platform and you kind of have the instinct to know this one will perform well on TikTok and this one will perform well on Instagram, or this one will perform well on both. So until you have that understanding of your audiences on the different platforms, I say post everything everywhere so you can at least be active on all the platforms. Okay, that wraps up this case study. I hope this was really helpful for you. Please let me know in the comments who you'd like me to do next. I have a pretty good list going, but if you have any recommendations, I am always open to that. Let me know if this was helpful, and if there are anything in this video that you're going to try to implement on your own. I love you guys, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.